Now that I've selected a theme, I have several things to do to get the site to where I want it to be. This is largely going to be a static site, and I haven't even begun to add images because at some point I will have a background image for the header, possibly for the footer, but really what I want to do now is I want to add my menus and put in my basic page structure. So I'm going to go to my dashboard, and I've deleted the existing pages, the default pages and posts that it dropped in, so I'm going to go to Add New Page. And so I'm going to have a home page for mobile design and development. And I'm going to go ahead and hit publish on this, and I'm just putting in the titles because I'm going to write content in Word, then copy and paste. That's faster than this. And then, but I know many things that I want to have in here and my menu layout. So I know that I'm going to want degree and certificate, and then I'm going to want specific degrees and certificates, so I can keep going to add new. So I'm going to have a digital publishing certificate. I'm going to hit publish, and these are actually publishing the pages. And I'm going to have a mobile design certificate. And an iOS development certificate. And an Android development certificate. And a web design and development degree. Or, I'm sorry, mobile design. Mobile design and development degree. And then we're going to have a page for classes. And I'm not going to add all of the classes, but I'm going to add 3 of them. I have usability, I'm going to have interface design, and digital publishing 1. That gives me a bunch of pages. Now it's going to look kind of funky if I go and look at it right now, because it's going to try and display those pages possibly. No, it doesn't even put them up. That's good. I want to take control over that with my menus. So now that those exist, I can put together a menu structure. So home, navigation label, title attribute, mobile design and development, my Android development certificate. It's good. I want this to be under, I need to get these together. I want a degrees and certificates page. So I'm going to drag this under degrees and certificates. And sometimes it helps if you, put it under degrees and certificates. And so my navigation is going to be Android, and my title attribute is going to be Android development certificate. And then digital publishing certificate. It's in degrees and certificates. So navigation label is going to be digital publishing. Title is going to be digital publishing certificate. That's a class, that's a class, that's a certificate. iOS. Digital publishing interfaces and mobile design and development, that's a certificate. Actually, that's a degree, so that's going to be mobile design and development degree. I got two of those somehow. Let's remove that one. Okay, digital publishing. That's a class, interface design, mobile design. Ah, there we go. That was my other certificate. And this really does a nice job setting up your layout, and I can just shrink these down. Take a quick look. Those are my degrees and certificates, and here I want these. This is for where my classes are. Okay, and then I can drag my other classes in here, and then I can alphabetize them if I want to. I should actually do that here. Android development, digital publishing certificate, mobile design and development, that's the degree. And that looks like I have just about everything. Thought I had a usability. Okay, so I'm missing one of my classes, but I can go back and add that later. Now, we're going to name that main menu. Create the menu. And main menu is now my primary navigation. Now let's take a quick look. Let's save changes first. And now let's go take a quick look. So I have home, classes, degrees and certificates, and then that would take me to each of those pages when I click on them. And so that to me is the next step, is to set up how you're going to have your menus laid out. And you'll notice this does a nice job of showing you which page you're currently on, iOS development. And so now I have a structure that I can deal with for my layout. Now, in the next step, we'll start adding content to these.